All right, for this next one, we've got the log base 4 of x squared plus 1 is equal to the log base 4 of 2 negative 2x. So if we think about this, this is kind of easy. This has to equal this. Now there's a way that I can get rid of the log because the inverse undoes what's being done. I mean, there's lots of ways to do it, but basically, if they're going to equal, they have to. This 2x has to equal x squared plus 1. So let's just do that. X squared plus 1 is equal to negative 2x. Now remember, I can solve a quadratic so long as I make it look like this. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. In other words, I have to set it equal to 0. Well, x squared is the second power, so that doesn't matter. And then 2x is x to the first power, so that's all by itself. And when I say doesn't matter, what I mean is there is no other x squared. There are no like terms. And then plus 1 is a constant, no like terms. So we just write it out the way it is, and we set it equal to 0. And then the next thing I want to do is I need to factor this to solve for x. And we're going to get two answers, and one of them will work, and one of them we can't use. All right, so we'll talk about that as well. So I'm going to just use the simple guess and check method. I'm going to take my first term, which is x squared. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to take my last term, which is a positive 1, and put it here. X times x gives me x squared. And guess what? 1 positive 1 times positive 1 gives me a 1 here. 1 times x is just a positive 1x. And 1 times x gives me a positive 1x. If I combine like terms, 1x plus 1x does in fact equal 2x. So then in my next line, what I know is that x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to x plus 1 times x plus 1, and that equals 0. So now, in order for that to equal 0, in both cases, x would have to equal negative 1. Right? Because I got to think, well, how do I multiply these things and make them equal 0? Well, if this was 0 and if this was 0, 0 times 0 equals 0. So that means this inside here and this inside here has to equal 0. The only way to make it equal 0 is if x is equal to negative 1. So my answer is negative 1 multiplicity 2. And that's it. Now, I guess that's all I have to say about that.